Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So Paul Pogba is leaving Manchester United next summer. Now according to reports from Spain, Barcelona are interested in signing Paul Pogba on a free next summer when his contract does expire. Now, Paul Pogba is into the final year of his current contract at Manchester United, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. Now, Paul Pogba, not so long ago, made an admission saying that his dream is to play for Real Madrid one day. Now, last year, Paul Pogba was talking a lot about Real Madrid and Zinedine Zidane, and he said he was seeking for a new challenge and said he wanted to leave Manchester United. He has had a long-running transfer saga. There's obviously been narratives of him possibly going back to Juventus because Paul Pogba did endure 4 good years with Juventus. The vast majority of his performances at Manchester United have been totally comparison to his ones at Juventus. PSG, I think, have inquired about his availability before. And there has been no talks whatsoever over getting Paul Pogba a new long-term contract at the football club. Because before we kicked off our season, Pogba's agent Mini Raiola came out and said that Pogba wants to stay. I think this was the early part of the summer transfer window, and he said he will hold talks over a new contract. I think it said a few weeks before the end of last season that he was close to signing a 5-year contract with Manchester United. He's had a good couple of periods as a Manchester United player. I thought he did well towards the end of last season. His combination with Bruno Fernandes was very, very good. And I think he did well in that 3-month period when Solsjaer was the interim manager. But I think prior to that, he's been very inconsistent. He's also enjoyed an abysmal start to this season. You know, this is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined from Juventus back in 2016. Pogba has sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. Obviously, for the vast majority of last season, didn't really have a perception on him because he was out with that ankle injury. He has made over 100 appearances for us in all competitions since he rejoined. He's won 2 trophies at the football club, and that was the Europa League and the League Cup. Don't forget he endured a difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era, but all our top players endured a difficult time under the Mourinho era. We also had Paul Pogba when he was younger, under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but due to limited appearances, we had to let him go. Now, earlier on this year, we was critical of his agent, Mini Raiola, because he publicly criticised Solsjaer and Manchester United, didn't he? It recently said that we identified our replacement for Paul Pogba, and that was Eduardo Camavinga, who currently plays for Rennes. Obviously, Real Madrid want to get him on the board. Kylian Mbappe, he's also on Real Madrid's agenda. I think Pogba's valued at just over £70 million. I think it's going to be hard for us to get more than the £89 million that we paid for him. As it stands at the moment, Paul Pogba is our most expensive signing. So that's the latest on Paul Pogba anyway. Now, our players are still backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This is according to Scott McTominay. But I read something up earlier on today, and it says Manchester United's players are still expecting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to be sacked as Manchester United manager. Now, on my recent video that I did, I give you the news on Bruno Fernandes, didn't I? Bruno Fernandes has come out and said that he has lost faith in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He basically wants Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out. Bruno Fernandes has also been very infuriated over the lack of signings. Bruno Fernandes recently had a bust-up with Solsjaer. Main explanation is regarding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics in the 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. Bruno Fernandes was also upset that he had to be taken off at half-time. Bruno Fernandes, by the way, will be missing 4 games for Manchester United, like I updated you earlier, because Cristiano Ronaldo recently tested positive for coronavirus. So Bruno Fernandes will have to quarantine for 14 days. It also says, by the way, Pogba may have to quarantine. He's already had coronavirus as Paul Pogba. And it also says that Anthony Martial may have to quarantine. Martial is obviously not available anyway because he's suspended for 3 games because he did get sent off against Tottenham. I think, it was the wrong decision. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes, I think he's definitely the best signing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's made. I think he's one of the best signings we've made since Alex Ferguson's retirement. Bruno Fernandes has been at the club now for almost a year. We got him back in January, was it, for just over £46 million. I think Fernandes signed a 5-year contract with the football club. I think there was an option of a further year. I think he must have scored around 14 goals now for Man United. A lot of his goals have come from the penalty spot. Obviously, won some Matt Busby Player of the Year, reflect on his good performances, and I think he's won Premier League Player of the Month around 3 times, Bruno Fernandes. But I do believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will get sacked as Manchester United manager, because I don't think he's good enough to succeed as a manager, like I've said before, because he hasn't got that proven pedigree. My perception on him as a player he's totally contrast, to him as a manager, because I thought as a player he was absolutely fantastic, but Solskjaer is a club legend. Ed Woodward recently said that he's prepared to sack Solskjaer if this bad vein of form continues. But you had Woodward saying a few times last season, even when we went through them bad periods, saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe. Now, I've enjoyed a very bad start to this season. We've already lost 2 of our opening 3 league games. So, reflecting on that, we are sitting 16th in the Premier League. So, we are near the relegation zone. I think the best game we've probably enjoyed so far this season was the 3-0 win against Brighton in the Carabao Cup. Mauricio Pochettino is the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. There was reports coming out last week saying that we'd been in contact with Mauricio Pochettino's representatives. Pochettino, I think, would favour a move to Manchester United over Manchester City. Don't forget, Mauricio Pochettino was linked with a managerial role at Man United before Solskjaer got the job permanently in March last year. Pochettino has been managerless now for like a year. He was sacked from Tottenham last year, weren't he? Tottenham did make a bad mistake by getting rid of him. I think we're looking at an alternative though now to Mauricio Pochettino, and that's Massimiliano Allegri. I think at the first part of last season, Massimiliano Allegri was linked with a managerial role at Manchester United. Now, it will only cost us around £4 million to sack Solskjaer, like I've already said. That's totally contrast to the £18 million that we paid to get rid of Jose Mourinho. Solskjaer's obviously still under contract with the club till 2022, so he's got just under 2 years left on his current contract. And I've already gone through with you what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to do to avoid getting sacked as Manchester United manager, and that is to address his back line. Obviously, we've got to see certain players improve. I said, didn't I, he's got to exceed his expectations. I did say at the start of this season what would represent a good season for Manchester United, and that would be to finish in the top 4, top 2 or top 3 if possible, and win a trophy. I definitely want us to win a trophy because we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years, and we haven't won out yet in terms of silverware under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. I think Solskjaer's also got to take the captaincy of Harry Maguire, because I don't think he's good enough to captain the team. And I think he should give this captaincy to Bruno Fernandes, because Bruno Fernandes is the one that shows fantastic leadership in the team. And I think Dean Henson needs to be put as our number 1 goalkeeper. You know what I mean? But not all of the blame stems from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, does it? Some of the blame stems from him. Like I said, certain players have got to take responsibility. But I think the vast majority of the blame stems from the board, because the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired haven't been backed enough. Moyes weren't backed enough, Van Gaal weren't backed enough, Jose Mourinho weren't backed enough, and throughout the course of the summer transfer window, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wasn't backed enough. During that summer transfer window, we missed out on all of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority targets. We missed out on Jadon Sancho. We missed out on Jack Grealish. We also missed out on Sergio Reguilon. In reality, we should have signed Sergio Reguilon. We missed out on Nathan Ake. Missed out on Thiago Alcantara. We missed out on Ousmane Dembele. Missed out on Jude Bellingham. Missed out on Erling Haaland back in January. And I said it was a shame we missed out on Erling Haaland, because he would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing, because Solskjaer obviously knows the player well. But our recruitment policy's been poor for several years, and we've also overpaid for players and all of that. So these are the main explanations why we've been so critical of the board. Woodward's been at the football club since 2012, so he's been with us around 8 years or so now. The Glazers, they've been with us since 2005, so they've been here 15 years or so. And Matt Judge, he's been with us around 7 years or so, and I think he's accountable for the failure of some of the transfers. But like I've said to you before, I think the biggest culprits are the Glazers, because the Glazers are the ones that recommended Woodward in and Matt Judge in, and I don't think the Glazers have got any intentions of selling the football club, And like I've said to you, I think Manchester United need to get a director of footballing. That's one of the structural changes that we do need at the football club. And Solskjaer recently provided us with an update regarding the director of football, and he says, we're still in search for one. I think we've been in the process of trying to get a director of footballing since the Jose Mourinho era. Woodward said quite a few times that Man United have been in search for the director of football. At one point, there was quite a few former Manchester United players linked with that role, and that was Patrice Evra, Rio Ferdinand, Edwin van der Sar, Darren Fletcher, and all of that. There was other names linked with it as well: Paul Mitchell, Fabrizio Paratici, who's I think currently the Juventus director. But if we had to get a director of footballing, we need someone who knows the club well, someone who's obviously got that experience as well. You know what I mean? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager now for almost 2 years. We appointed him in December 2018 to replace Jose Mourinho. And he's obviously been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. Now, this season is his second full season at the football club. Obviously, last season was his first full season at the football club. And to be fair, I credit Solskjaer from last season, because he exceeded most of his expectations. He got us qualification for the Champions League. We also finished third. That's the second highest we've finished since the Ferguson era. And we also progressed to 3 semi-finals. We got to the FA Cup semi-final, the Europa League semi-final, and the EFL Cup semi-final. And at the first part of last season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. So reflecting on that, you wouldn't have thought Solsjaer would have exceeded any of his expectations last season. And now, at this present time, Solskjaer is in the same position as he was at the first part of last season. Like I've said time and time again, I think he's in the same position as what Jose Mourinho was in. Because Jose Mourinho made it clear to our board in in the summer of 2018 that he wanted to recommend a centre-half in. Mourinho obviously never got that centre-half in. He wasn't backed enough, and this is one of the main explanations why it didn't work out under Mourinho. There's obviously other reasons as well why he got sacked, because obviously he had bad disputes with our top players. And I felt as though, we did appoint him in too late. Mourinho enjoyed 2.5 years at the club. He did win the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season at Man United, and also got a second in his first season. There is positives to take from Solskjaer's tenure. Not everything's negative regarding, Solskjaer as Man United manager. I think, Solskjaer has made some good signings. He's obviously spent over £200 million since he became Manchester United manager. He's also brought quite a few academy players into the club, and I also like the way he has promoted the youth, because the young players have been given their opportunities. Like I said, we've had some good periods under him. We went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions. Don't forget, was it the second part of last season? Went on a 14-game unbeaten run in the Premier League. Did well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. I think Solskjaer must have won his first 8 games in that temporary period, and that won 14 out of 19 in all competitions, We've also seen a lot of players leave since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended in to the football club. So, yeah, they are the positives you can take, I think Manchester United have also made a lot of mistakes in the last 7 years, and that's one of the main explanations why we have been so inconsistent. Like I said, we made a mistake giving Solskjaer the job permanently. There's some players we're giving contracts to who we shouldn't have given contracts to. But on the other hand, there's some players we give contracts to who deserve new contracts. And a lot of players' contracts have been extended since Solskjaer came in. I think, a lot of the players we've brought in the last 7 years haven't been the right calibre players for Manchester United. I think we made a mistake by getting rid of Ander Herrera and Romelu Lukaku, because they were 2 very good players for Man United. Like I said, one mistake Ferguson made, it was the only mistake he made, and that was obviously appointing David Moyes in. But the main explanation he appointed Moyes in, because at that time they got on, and obviously they was both Scottish. So Manchester United have made mistakes. Now, like I said to you, I think we are at least 3 to 4 years off from winning the Premier League title, maybe even longer. Like I said, it's going to take a long rebuilding process. We haven't mounted any title challenge up in the last 7 years. Like I've said, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So last time won it was in Sir Alex Ferguson's last season. But we are the most successful team in Premier League history, because we have won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier League titles. Obviously, we are looking to offload a few more players. Obviously, we're looking to offload Jesse Lingard. We're also looking to offload Rojo and Jones. Sergio Romero, he's also open to leaving the football club. Reportedly, he wants his contract released immediately, and he wants to make a move to the MLS, does Sergio Romero. These players now could be leaving next year, because its transfer window now is nearly fully shut, isn't it? And maybe some more players could leave Manchester United next year as well as them. But Solsjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. We've seen 3 managers sat since the Sir Alex Ferguson era, and that was obviously Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. We've only won, 4 trophies since Ferguson retired, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal, the Europa League and League Cup under Mourinho, and also the Community Shield, if you want to put that into the equation. We've recruited over 30 players in since Ferguson's retirement. Obviously, under the Moyes era, we brought the likes of Fellaini and Maturin. They were the only 2 players we brought in under Moyes. Under Van Gaal, we must have brought a good 12, 13 players in. We brought Schneiderlin in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Herrera, Romero, Victor Valdez, Blind, Rojo, Darmian, Martial, Sean, all of that. Still a few players here from the Louis van Gaal era, and under the Jose Mourinho era, we recommended 11 players into the football club. We brought, under Mourinho, we brought Lee Grant in, Diego Dalot, Eric Bay, Victor Lindelof, Matic, Pogba, Fred, Sanchez, Mkhitaryan, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Lukaku. They're the players that were brought in under the Jose Mourinho, where, the vast majority of his team is Jose Mourinho's. And like I've said before, Solskjaer's inheriting players from other managerial eras. You know what I mean? But I just think it's going to be hard for any manager at Manchester United to replicate Ferguson's legacy or to last as long as Ferguson did. Ferguson endured 26, 27 years at Man United, won a total of 38 major honours. But Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club, did he? Alex Ferguson. But since he retired, we've been inconsistent. Before Ferguson came into the equation, we was inconsistent because we weren't good under Ron Atkinson, we weren't good under Franco Farrell, and we weren't good under Wilf McGuinness. We got relegated under Franco Farrell back in 1974, which is a good 40 odd years ago now. Like I said to you on one of my recent videos, I think Man United have got at least 5 or 6 good players. I think, Marcus Rashford is very, very good. I think he's definitely improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Rashford's now 22 and he's been at United since the age of 7, so he's been with us now around 15 years. He's been in our senior squad since 2016, and since then has become an integral part of our team. Rashford does play on that left-hand side now, doesn't he? I think Martial, he's also a very, very good player. He's had a poor start to this season. Scholes recently slammed Anthony Martial, didn't he? Saying that he almost conned Manchester United, and Paul Scholes still feels as though that, we need a world-class number 9. But Martial was exceptional last season. I thought he was also very good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. I think we got Martial at the age of 19 was it? He's now 24. Martial's been at Manchester United now for over 5 years. He currently plays in that number 9, but he seems to be very effective in that central position, even though it isn't his predominant position. Analysing the vast majority of his Man United career, he has been playing out wide as Anthony Martial. I think Mason Greenwood, he's also very, very good for us. He's very effective on that right-hand side. We had a few issues with Mason Greenwood though, haven't we? We had a few issues with him before we kicked off our season. Mason Greenwood is our number 11. He's the 4th Manchester United player to wear the number 11 shirt. I think, Bruno Fernandes is very, very good. I think, Donny van der Beek, he's proven to be proven that he's a good signing so far for us, because I think he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Man United career. Donny van der Beek does wear the number 34 shirt. We got Donny van der Beek, was it in a deal worth £40 million? Donny van der Beek signed a 5-year contract with Man United with an option of a further year. There's question marks around Solsjaer. Why is he not yet given Donny van de Beek his full Premier League debut? I also think that Brandon Williams is a very, very good player for Manchester United. What's going to be happening now, though, with Williams, now that Tellez has come in? I think Southampton recently inquired about getting Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams was exceptional last season. Played a lot of games because Luke Shaw had a couple of injuries, didn't he, last season? Because Luke Shaw was injured the first part of last season and he was injured towards the end of last season, sustained an ankle injury. Brandon Williams currently wears the number 33. I think he's the first Man United player to wear the number 33 since Paddy McNair. So I think, they are the good players that we have got in our team. There's other good players as well, but there's definitely players that have got to improve at Manchester United. Like I said, Wan-Bissaka, very, very good right back, but he's lacking that attacking intent. But his defensive contribution's always been good. This season is Wan-Bissaka's second season at Manchester United, isn't it? We got him in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace last summer. Victor Lindelof, I think, is very inconsistent and I don't think he's good enough to represent Manchester United. He's Lindelof. He's had a lot of bad games. There's not all negativity regarding Lindelof because he's had some good games as a Manchester United player. But he's not on Harry Maguire's level, is he? Let's put it that way. Lindelof's endured over 3 years at the club. Paid £30 million in from Benfica back in 2017. Solsjaer did confirm, by the way, that Eric Bailly will be playing more regularly this season. Bailly is a better centre-half than Lindelof, but my element of concern about Eric Bailly is that he is injury-prone. He recently sustained a suspected hamstring injury whilst he was on international duty with Ivory Coast. Bailly's endured 4 years or so at Man United, got him from Villarreal back in 2016 for £30 million. We look better, it looks better with Bailly alongside Maguire rather than Lindelof and Maguire, to be honest with you. Before, though, Bailly and Lindelof had played together as a centre-back partnership. Obviously before, Maguire and that came in. Like I said, I think, Luke Shaw, he's enjoyed a pretty poor start to the season as well. Maguire, he's been poor. We definitely overpaid for Harry Maguire, We got him in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester last summer, so as it stands at the moment, Harry Maguire is the most expensive centre-half in the world, and he's the second most expensive signing at the football club. Fred, McTominay, Matic, they haven't enjoyed the best starts to the season. There's a chance that Fred could leave the football club next year. Maybe he won't, but he could. Quite a few weeks ago, there was rumours of Fred possibly leaving, but Fred came out and said that he wanted to stay at Manchester United because he wants to be an essential player and win trophies for the football club. We paid £52 million for Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk back in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window, didn't we? But Fred isn't a world-class midfielder, but I thought he was exceptional in Ukraine with Shakhtar Donetsk. Fred's found game time difficult since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes. McTominay, he had some good games last season, but don't forget last season he was out with that ankle injury. McTominay did commit his long-term future with the club because just after the first lockdown he signed a 5-year deal with Manchester United. Nemanja Matic, I think aspects of his game have improved. He had some good games towards the end of last season. There's a possibility chance he could go next year. He's aging up now. Matic is in his 30s. Was it around a month or so ago, maybe longer, he signed a new 3-year deal with Man United. We got Matic in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Odin Ighalo, he'll stay at Manchester United until January. His contract expires in January, doesn't it? Not his contract, sorry. His loan spell, expires in January. After the first lockdown, we extended his loan till January 2021. Last season, Odin Ighalo was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup. He did very, very well. The main explanation why we got him in on January deadline day was to get a covered up to Marcus Rashford. Daniel James, I think, he'll leave Manchester United next year. Leeds United are the ones that have been interested in Daniel James. I forgot to mention him earlier on when I went through the good players. Juan Mata, he's also, a very, very good player. Don't forget, he recently rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. Mata wants to stay at Manchester United. Doesn't get a lot of game time now, but when he does, he makes a fantastic impact. He's done well in both our Carabao Cup games this season. He's been given man of the match in both of them games. He's enjoyed around 6 years at Manchester United. Scored 50 goals in 257 appearances in all competitions. And we paid just under £40 million for Juan Mata from Chelsea back in 2014, didn't we? So look, right back to what I said, there's players that have got to step up to the plate, and there's still key areas where Man United are lacking. Newcastle on Saturday, the preview for that game should be coming up tomorrow evening. Like I said, Edinson Cavani's not going to be available for the game because he's got to obviously self-isolate and all of that, so he won't be making his debut, Cavani. Martial's unavailable, 3-match suspension. Pogba may be unavailable. Fernandes probably unavailable. But Tellez, he should be making his debut for the club on Saturday. So Man United have got to get back to winning ways. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.